Welcome, lords and ladies, back to the realm. I am the Goat King. I hope you like magic, because this week we're exploring the Casters of the Core Rulebook. As always, all of these classes can be found on the Archives of Nethys Pathfinder Rules document, linked in the description below. There are a few things about spellcasters that we should probably clear up before we start going into them. Spontaneous spellcasters have a number of spell slots per day that they can use to cast any spell they know. Generally, a spontaneous caster will know a number of spells equal to the number of spell slots they have, and they can't add to this spell repertoire outside of leveling up. Spontaneous casting allows a limited amount of in-the-moment flexibility. But more importantly, your spell choice will be defining for your character, helping to establish their specific connection to magic and their temperament as a person. Prepared casters choose a spell for each spell slot during their morning preparation. They are then limited to casting their prepared spells with those spell slots for the rest of the day. Prepared casters will always know more spells than they have spell slots, and this deep well of spells allows a prepared caster to be ready for almost any situation if they have a decent amount of foresight. Focus points are a separate well of magic all casters and many non-casters have. Focus spells are automatically heightened to your highest casting level and cost 1 focus point to use. Your pool of focus points will never be more than 3. You can spend 10 minutes to regain a focus point with the refocus activity, if you have spent at least 1 focus point since your last refocus. You also regain all focus points on a long rest. Focus spells represent a bit of spellcasting you will usually always have at least 1 casting of in combat. Now, with all that covered, let's kick it off with none other than the Bard. Bards are charisma-based spontaneous casters of the occult spell tradition. As a bard, you can use an instrument to provide the material and verbal components of your spells if you choose. The real identifier of a bard is their composition spells and their choice of muse. Composition spells are the name of bardic focus spells. Bards begin with the focus spell Counter-Performance. Counter-Performance allows the bard to provide a performance check in place of an ally's saving throw for visual or auditory-based saves. The ability to potentially protect your entire party from a massive area of effect spell or attack is amazing. As well as typical focus spells, bards also have focus cantrips, which, like normal cantrips, can be cast as often as you want. Inspire Courage is the first focus cantrip bards start with. Costing 1 action to cast, Inspire Courage boosts all allies within 60 feet, providing a +1 to attack rolls, damage rolls, and saves against fear effects. This roundly beats several spells other casters gain access to in terms of party support. Bless, for example, is a Define and Occult level 1 spell which costs 2 actions to cast, and starts at a 5-foot emanation that provides a +1 only to attack rolls. This is nothing compared to the Inspire Courage focus cantrip. These 2 starting focus spells illustrate what bards are best at: party support. Next, our muse functions as the bard subclass. Enigma is the muse for the knowledgeable bard, giving you bardic lore which can be used to recall knowledge about any topic. Maestro leans more heavily into party support. They gain a focus spell that helps them sustain their other spells a little longer, as well as the occult healing spell, Soothe. Polymath is for the skilled bard, allowing you to use your performance in place of many other skills, specifically your more social ones. Moving on, we're talking about clerics. The OG healer is a wisdom-based prepared caster of the divine tradition. Not just a prepared caster, they prepare their spells from the whole divine list rather than a list of learned spells. Most clerics use their holy symbol to replace material components of their spells. Oh, let's be honest, you're here for heals, and the cleric has heals. Specifically, they have the divine font feature. This feature allows you to prepare extra spell slots for harm or heal spells depending on your deity. These extra slots are always at your highest spell level, and you will have 1 plus your charisma modifier to cast. And let's not forget, clerics can gain focus spells specific to their deity's domains through feats. And the last bit to cover for the cleric are subclasses. Cloistered Cleric is the full caster. This option takes you all in on casting spells and starts you with focus spells as well. The War Priest, however, is a little different. Taking this subclass will nerf your spellcasting, making you the only caster in the core rulebook to never reach legendary proficiency with your spell attacks and spell DCs. Instead, you gain better armor proficiencies, better fortitude saves, the shield block reaction, and more competence with your deity's favorite weapon. And next we have the Druids. What do you mean I'm out of time? I just started, I'm not even halfway through. Well, that's where I have to wrap up this video. There's a lot to talk about with casters, and I just wasn't able to get all of them in this first video. I want to thank you again for visiting the realm. I've been the Goat King, and next week we're going to cover the rest of the casters in the core rulebook.